news. It'll be into this afternoon and into the evening as well. The air quality alert is in effect until midnight this evening. We'll also have intervals of clouds and hazy sun, hot, very humid, with a high of 90 degrees. A chance at a couple of thunderstorms around today as well. Tonight, partly cloudy, warm, rather humid yet again. A low of 74. Also expecting another 90 degrees tomorrow. Outside currently, it is 87. Mostly sunny skies. Checking the market. The Dow down 143. S&P down 38. The NASDAQ down 207 at 1150. Chicago's only station dedicated to news around the clock. News Radio 1059 WBBM. Well, that cell phone in your hand could leave you susceptible to an increasingly common injury.
Texting and scrolling throughout the day could put pressure on the fingers with numbness and tingling. Surgeon Dr. Eugene Tsai at Cedars-Sinai Orthopedics and Sports Medicine says it's okay if you have some discomfort while using the phone, as long as it quickly goes away after you're done. But
every time you use your phone, that pain or discomfort or numbness and tingling gets worse. That's a sure sign that a medical professional should take a closer look at things.
General stiffness, throbbing near the knuckle, or a clicking sensation when bending the thumb can lead to more serious issues, arthritis or carpal tunnel syndrome.
My key tips would be try to go for as light a phone as possible, as small a phone as possible.
He also recommends transitioning to voice-to-text inputs on the phone to give your fingers a break. I'm Ed Donahue.
It's not the same reflection you were right where I belong.
Do you know Kelly Clarkson has dropped a new song? It's called I'd Be Lying. This is it. She's released her latest album, Chemistry, back in 2023. It peaked at number 6 on the Billboard album chart. The release coincides with the return.
What are your regular spending? What are the extras?
Financial planner Sherry Greco-Rica says you need to work out a financial plan with your spouse and stick to it.
Review it. Make sure you're spending in line with what the plan was.
The plan must change with the times. I'm Rob Hart.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Chicagoland. If you're ready to drive, choose Patrick Cars. Right now, finance for 0% APR up to 60 months on select 2026 models from PatrickCars.com.
Taking care of you every day. That's the Patrick promise.
11:53. Time now for a look at business live from Bloomberg. Here's Gina. Check that. Here's Denise Pellegrini.
Judson chip makers are under some pressure today, and that's one of the things weighing on sentiment on Wall Street. But brighter picture when it comes to the housing market. New residential construction increased 19% last month. That's thanks to apartment construction. And we're apparently feeling a little bit better overall about things, or at least we were. Consumer sentiment rising in early July to a 5-month high. That's as lower gas prices helped us feel better, according to the University of Michigan's preliminary sentiment index. Of course, crude oil futures have been rising again this week as fighting in the Middle East heats up again. And you probably noticed drivers doing some crazy stuff on the road and wondering if they were playing real-life Grand Theft Auto. Well, that might be close to the truth. Drivers are now using their dash cams to film their antics and become celebrities when their videos go viral. Watch out, though. AAA says the video can also be used in court against the reckless driving. With business at 23 and 53, and then the coming noon business hour from the Bloomberg Newsroom, Denise Pellegrini, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
We got a vehicle fire on the tri-state causing some backups. Of all the details next in traffic and weather, it's 11:55.
Honey, did you invite the minions over?
Well, you know we talked about getting Wi-Fi from Xfinity?
Yeah.
I ordered it this morning. It was online in minutes. Then they showed up.
So they just came over to use the Wi-Fi?
They even brought their own devices. And spellbook.
You didn't give them the new Wi-Fi password, right?
No.
That's good.
I give them our old one because Xfinity lets us keep the same network name and password so devices connect instantly.
What do you want Wi-Fi for anyways?
Better not to know. Plausible deniability.
Get streaming or scheming instantly with same-day Wi-Fi from Xfinity. Plus, lock in one price for the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi for 5 years. Guaranteed. And see Minions and Monsters only in theaters. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
Path to the PGA Tour runs through Chicago's North Shore as the Emma Scholars Invitation returns to the Glade Club, July 23rd through the 26th. See the game's rising stars compete as the Corn Ferry Tour heats up. And thanks to BCU, your community credit union, admission is free. Upgrade to the Lemonade Stand presented by Mike's Hard Lemonade or Corona Cabanas for premium views, food, and drinks. All proceeds support the Emma Scholars Foundation and Youth Caddies nationwide. Visit esinvitational.com for tickets, fan upgrades, and event details.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK. WBBM Chicago and WCFS FM and HD1 Elmwood Park, Chicago.
Always live on the free Odyssey app.
11:58 to traffic and weather together on the 8th. Here's Mike Allison.
We are still seeing some heavy traffic on the northbound side of the tri-state. You are stop and go from Dempster to a little before Willow Road, where we have a vehicle fire. Your 3 right lanes still blocked with crews on the scene, so just that 1 left lane getting by for now. You may want to use either Milwaukee Avenue or US 45 as an alternate. Your southbound side, a pretty good sized gauge delay as you approach the scene. Looking elsewhere, I-80 still seeing some pretty heavy traffic on your eastbound side. This is from just past Hobart over to the Des Plaines River Bridge. We have reports of a crash. Sounds like 3 vehicles involved with this one. Crews just arriving to the scene. The westbound side still moving just fine. Northwest Indiana still seeing some delays. This is on 8094 in both directions. Your westbound side, slow spots go from Quickly over to Kennedy Avenue. Eastbound, pretty tight spots from the state line over to Burr. I-94 also picking up. Westbound's okay, but eastbound you are now heavy from State Road 49 in Chesterton to just before US 421. Your next Chevrolet report is going to be at 12:08 on News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
The forecast says that air quality alert is in effect until midnight tonight with those Canadian wildfires. Very unhealthy air quality, poor visibility will continue this afternoon. Intervals of clouds and sun, hazy sun, hot, very humid today with a couple of thunderstorms around. Could reach a high of 90 degrees, pretty close to that right now. Tonight, partly cloudy, warm, humid, 74 overnight. Right now it is 87, mostly sunny at 11:59.
Featuring the news that matters and breaking news at any time. This is Chicago's news, traffic, and weather station. News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Coming up on the WBBM Noon Business Hour, Netflix shares take a dive after the streaming service aired this year's Home Run Derby. And Taco Bell facing scrutiny after lettuce served in its restaurants was tied to a parasite outbreak. Plus, CDC officials say most of the country's lettuce is still safe to eat. ABC News will have the details there in just a moment. WBBM Sports Cubs host the Twins tonight. White Sox are in Toronto to take on the Blue Jays. And in business, the Dow down 183, S&P down 43, the NASDAQ is down to 17. Still dealing with those smoky skies right now, 87 degrees, mostly sunny at noon.
From ABC News, I'm Wayne Cabot. The CDC says you can go ahead and eat that lettuce sold in bags in grocery stores and at restaurants. They're saying the supply is not affected by the lettuce sold to Taco Bell. That appears to be the main source of the intestinal illness tying up bathrooms across the country.
Severe stomach bugs spreading across the country.
has now been linked to shredded iceberg lettuce served at Taco Bell locations in 5 states: Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, and West Virginia. The FDA has identified a single supplier of the lettuce from Mexico. Taco Bell now voluntarily removing the lettuce, saying the affected ingredient from our supplier is being indefinitely removed from our supply chain nationwide.
ABC's Hannah Battah, a federal official, telling the AP that the bad lettuce came from Taylor Farms of Salinas, California, which hasn't commented. Taylor Farms was tied to a similar outbreak in 2013, and an E. coli outbreak last year tied to onions served at McDonald's. New Jersey is handing out masks at rest areas along the Turnpike and Parkway as wildfire smoke persists. It's not a bad idea, says ABC News medical contributor Dr. Alok Patel.
Masks, if they're well fitted and they're KN95s, we talked a lot about those during COVID, those can really help. But cloth masks, bandanas, even surgical masks aren't really going to keep all the particulates out.
And FIFA is monitoring for any potential impact for Sunday's World Cup final in New Jersey. DHS Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen just threatened to withhold federal aid for states that don't investigate their voters for possible election fraud. He also threatened criminal penalties against election officials.
States must be aware of the real threats for voter registration.
California Secretary of State saying their office will review the DHS claims, but that information from the president does not inspire any level of confidence. Tsunami warning is up right now for Mexico and Guatemala on the coast from a 7.3 earthquake and aftershocks. You're listening to ABC News.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Chicago's news, traffic, and weather station. News Radio 1059. Now, the WBBM Noon Business Hour. 12:03 Friday, July 17th. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us on the WBBM Noon Business Hour. I'm Jetson Richards in for Rob Hart today. Right now, 87 degrees outside, mostly sunny skies. That air quality alert in effect until midnight this evening. Dealing with that very unhealthy air quality and poor visibility. That will continue this afternoon. Looking at a high of 90 degrees today. Tonight, partly cloudy, warm, and rather humid, low of 74. Details in the complete forecast from AccuWeather coming up in just a few minutes. Now let's get the latest on financial markets from Bloomberg. Here's Denise Pellegrini.
Well, Judson, we've got poor visibility on Wall Street with the air quality in Manhattan not too great either, and also some poor visibility when it comes to the chip makers. They're all down today on worries that they're overpriced. That's dragging sentiment down, but not as badly as it was this morning. Dow is still down by 188, though. S&P down 40, NASDAQ down 199. And Apple is in early settlement talks now with the Department of Justice over an antitrust case. We'll have more on that coming up for you on the Noon Business Hour. Back over to you, Jones.
Denise, thank you. We'll check in again coming up at 12:23. The WBBM Noon Business Hour sponsored by FinishingChicago.com. Taco Bell is dealing with the fallout from an outbreak of foodborne illnesses tied to its restaurants. We'll cover that in our next segment. But first, shares of Netflix are lower after the company issued a disappointing forecast, adding to investor concerns following this week's disastrous streaming of the MLB Home Run Derby. Welcome, Tim Hamlin, founder and CEO of the Vertere Group right here in Chicago. Tim, thanks for your time this morning or this afternoon. Let's begin here. The Home Run Derby on Netflix was well-publicized streaming problems. If Netflix wants to become a major player in live sports, how concerning was this Home Run Derby?
Yeah, it's hard to sort of put it. It's like an apples to oranges kind of comparison. I think the numbers that have come out, in terms of the decline, if you will, in viewership, have to be sort of put in context. I mean, at the end of the day, Netflix has been nibbling around sports, right? A couple of NFL games during the holidays, a couple of marquee or semi-marquee events, Major League Baseball, obviously with the first game of the season, and now the Home Run Derby and the upcoming Field of Dreams game and stuff. The infrequency of the events that Netflix offers or has historically offered, it doesn't necessarily do it any favors when it comes to, not necessarily production. Production is kind of an acquired taste. But in terms of regular habits with viewers, right? So when a particular event is outside of the traditional linear television offerings or whatever, and one has to go to Netflix to watch this separate event, it changes behavior and it irritates people. They don't have the subscription, that kind of stuff. So I guess the point is that they're going to be looking for sports as a way to generate more viewership. But I think what you're going to see them do is lean more heavily into more regularly scheduled events to build up that habit. They don't have that now. That's when they can truly hit and miss with a one-off event like the Home Run Derby.
Yeah, Tim, Netflix had the NFL on Christmas Day. This year, Bears play the Packers on Christmas Day if they have that yet again. So that will do really, really well in Chicago. Now, how critical is live sports to Netflix's long-term growth strategy?
I think it's probably a growing part of it and relatively fast-growing in that the whole reason Wall Street is down on them in the moment right now is because of this term engagement. And they're claiming that it's very hard to kind of get people to stay engaged, right? There's only so much original programming that they can fund, that they can promote. They've now nibbled around getting podcasts in there, right, on YouTube. I think the reality is that they want more people to stick around for longer periods of time, and there's no greater elixir than live sports to do that. So they're going to have the Women's World Cup next year exclusively. That'll be a really good test. But I do think you're going to see Netflix really step up their interest in marquee events of substance, where there are many different games and the like, not like the World Cup, and season offerings, full season offerings of certain sports and events to get people to regularly consider and recognize that Netflix is the place for live sports, like Amazon has done, like some of the other streamers have done.
We're joined by Tim Hanlon of the Vertere Group. Tim, let's back to Major League Baseball specifically. And the next time we will see Netflix and baseball together will be the Field of Dreams game in August. Does this MLB partnership serve as a blueprint for Netflix to pursue more premium live sports rights, such as the NBA, Formula One, and other major events?
Yeah, there's no question. The problem is those rights only come up every so often, right? And Major League Baseball probably is not the place where they're going to get the most traction for that. But certainly things like the NBA, Formula One, you mentioned some of I think the marquee events of the next World Cup, for example, Men's World Cup, the next two of those are very much in people's sites. I think ESPN today, the CEO basically said, we will absolutely go very hard to get the next World Cup or two. I think those kinds of things are what Netflix really needs to stand out versus an occasional fight of the century where once or twice every season events like, Field of Dreams kind of thing. Those are one-offs. Those are kind of fun and they're curiosity-driven and they can be eventized, so to speak. But what they really need is habitual, regular viewership, and there's nothing like a live sports contract for a season or a tournament that can generate that kind of interest. I think they're going to really spend a lot of time trying to find some of those now to kind of add to the mixing bowl at Netflix.
Tim, great insight. Thank you so much. That's Tim Hanlon, founder and CEO of the Vertere Group right here in Chicago. Coming up, a discussion on how restaurants deal with the impact of food poisoning. But right now, 12:08. 12:08 traffic and weather together on the 8th. Here's Mike Allison.
Well, we're still having trouble on the Tri-State on your northbound side. Your stop and go from Dempster to a little before Willow Road, where a vehicle still has 3 right lanes